You're listening to Mr. English Podcast by
John,
Mr. English
Can I ask you
Podcast.
something a little personal?
Of course.
Do you ever feel anxious for no clear reason? Like your mind just won't relax?
Honestly, yes. And I think many people feel that way more often than they admit. Sometimes we smile normally outside while quietly fighting battles inside our heads.
Yeah, especially at night. I think that's when overthinking becomes the loudest.
Exactly. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about anxiety, overthinking, and simple ways to calm your mind when life feels overwhelming.
I think one of the hardest things about anxiety is feeling like you're the only person struggling.
That's very true. Because on social media, everybody looks happy. Everybody looks successful. Everybody looks confident. But real life is different. Many people silently deal with stress, fear, pressure, loneliness, overthinking. Even strong people struggle mentally sometimes, and that's completely human.
I think people often feel guilty for being anxious too. Like, why can't I just relax?
Exactly. But anxiety is not weakness. It's usually a tired mind trying to protect you from uncertainty.
I feel like anxiety often comes from worrying about the future.
Absolutely. We try to control everything: the future, other people, outcomes, timing, success. But life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes anxiety grows because our minds keep asking, what if something goes wrong? Again and again.
Yeah, and the scary part is that the thoughts never stop.
That's why it's important to remember, not every problem needs to be solved tonight. Your mind deserves rest too. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is pause and breathe.
So, what actually helps when you feel overwhelmed?
Honestly, usually the small things, not dramatic solutions. Simple habits can calm the mind a lot. For example, going for a walk, listening to music, getting enough sleep, drinking water, staying away from negative content for a while. Even sitting quietly for a few minutes can help.
I think social media makes anxiety worse sometimes.
Definitely. When we spend hours comparing our lives to everybody else's highlights, our minds become exhausted. Sometimes your brain just needs silence, not more information.
Comparison really destroys peace sometimes.
It does. People compare money, appearance, relationships, careers, success. But everybody's timeline is different. Just because someone is ahead of you in one area of life doesn't mean you're failing. Your life is not late. You are moving at your own pace.
I think many people needed to hear that.
Honestly, me too sometimes.
I noticed anxious people are often very hard on themselves.
That's true. Sometimes we say terrible things to ourselves that we would never say to another person. We blame ourselves for everything. We pressure ourselves constantly. But healing becomes easier when you start treating yourself with more kindness, because you speak to yourself more than anyone else does.
Wow, that's actually really true.
And here's something important. Try becoming someone your own mind feels safe with, not someone who attacks themselves every day.
I think people feel pressure to fix their whole life immediately.
Exactly. But real healing is usually slow, and that's okay. You do not need to solve your entire future tonight. Sometimes resting is progress too. Sometimes surviving a difficult day is already enough. And honestly, you're probably doing better than you think.
I really like this episode. It feels comforting somehow.
I hope so. And if you're listening right now while feeling anxious or overwhelmed, remember this: you are not broken. You are human. Take a deep breath, drink some water, get some rest, and stop carrying tomorrow's problems into tonight. Little by little, things can get better.
And remember, you don't have to go through everything alone.
Exactly. Thank you so much for listening to Mr. English Podcast. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next episode.